Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another StarCraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's a Protoss bot that I don't believe I've cast for quite a while, or if I've ever cast it at all. It's Apidae. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And taking on Apidae is going to be Dysnomia, aka an Eris variant. They're respectively sitting at 1 and 2 on the SC2 AI ladder, which is very cool. And boy, oh boy, we've got ourselves some cannons starting off from Apidae. We're going to see how this is going to go between these two. Eris has gone for Dysnomia, pardon me, has gone for an early pool. That gets scouted by Apidae. It's like one drone is being pulled off the line to deal with this, make that 4 drones. As the one continues to scout out, 3 are going to attack that pylon, stab that drone a little bit. There is 2 pylons building, so there should be more drones pulled potentially, or this very well could get up. And we're going to see if we have a successful cannon rush here or not. That is done, so 1 cannon can go up. Drones immediately switch to attacking the cannon, and another drone is coming on down. We will need to see another cannon build for Apidae, as 4 drones can deal with 1, so we're going to have to see another go up. 1 is canceled. If another started, it could potentially get up, but the probe is being stabbed. Do we have another cannon going up? Yes, we do, but then it cancels and restarts for a second. So we're going to have another one almost done, but then it's canceled. And so it looks like this will be a solid hold by Apidae. There was room for this to potentially get off, but there was just a slight pause on some of this. More drones are being pulled, so Dysnomia does have it mathed out that you got to pull drones for every cannon. Lings are now on their way out, and it looks like we've got ourselves a successful hold by Dysnomia, now just attacking all these building cannons, and it looks like 1 is not gonna get on up here. It looks like, there we go, cancel. Just non-stop cancel or kill on these. 1 does get up momentarily, and the drones actually are routed. Oh my gosh, I did not expect that to happen. I have no idea how it did happen. And apparently Apidae showing us that persistence pays off. I totally thought that this was done for on the timings, but when in doubt, keep throwing down cannons, and that is what's working out for Apidae, as it builds 5. I'm curious how many of these it is going to build. Looks like that one is going to finish up, going to start shooting away and force some of those drones back. Now, I'm not sure what the next step is here for the Protoss bot. The Zerg bot has got a roach warren on the way. There is another hatchery done, so that should be free to be used. A queen is coming down the ramp, however a cannon will shoot it dead, and so that is pretty nice for Apidae. We've got only 18 drones out for the Zerg. 2 have perished. Now, there was a massive cannon investment for the Protoss bot, and I'm not sure what it's spending its money on now. Looks like it's going to be a Nexus, a gateway, a full-blown transition, and there is a boatload of cannons down here, so it will take some time for Dysnomia to clear this up. I imagine there's going to be some roaches or ravagers produced. Ravagers can deal with these cannons very well. And so there we have it, 1 roach on the way. The 1 roach to rule them all. And ladies and gentlemen, I think this game got started before I could even say it. Click that like button for a bot cannon rush actually having some success. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Consider becoming a YouTube member if you do want to support the channel. I got those new supporter icons up, and here we have a few ravagers on the way for the Zerg bot. That should be more than enough to deal with these cannons. It will take a bit of time, and one of these roaches will go down that ramp, and oh no, bad pathing. That roach will almost perish as it runs down that ramp. Fortunately, it does make it back up, turn into a cocoon, so it can be a ravager when it grows up. Now, Apidae behind this does have that Nexus almost done, so it's heading into a good economy. It's only got 1 Zealot out, though, and that could be really problematic as the Cyber Core is still just building, so no Void Rays are going to be on the way out to potentially deal with these roaches just yet. Looks like an Overlord does get sniped by the cannons, and I shouldn't really say sniped. An Overlord flies over the air defenses of this Protoss. Now, it's going to take a bit of time for these cannons to be cleaned up still, but cleaned up they shall be. Another roach runs into the wrong side of town, does get taken out, so that's a free loss for Dysnomia, so it really shouldn't have done that. A couple of drones are running by now. They're going to go down, so 3 dead drones, a dead roach. Bad pathing by the Zerg bot when Patience would have dealt with this. Now we do have 2 sentries on the way for the Protoss. That's interesting. Getting +1 on the way as well. And yeah, what a cool start to this game we've had. Looks like Dysnomia will be allowed to macro, transfer some drones once this is all cleaned up. Oh my gosh, is another Overlord gonna die? It shouldn't. No, this will be dealt with. So that's good to see. A random sentry is walking across the map, a random couple of zealots. Oh my gosh, Apidae, what are you doing? Now is not the time to attack. There is way too much out there. You need to go home. And looks like some of those units do turn around. That's good to see. We do have a Stargate on the way. That is going to be critical when it comes to potentially dealing with aggressive Ravagers. There's going to be a couple more Zealots getting made. A couple of sentries are out, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. And we actually have hallucinated Immortals walking across the map. And for those of you that don't know, there's no way to tell through the StarCraft API if a unit is a hallucination unless, big asterisk, unless it takes damage, because then it's apparent that it takes double damage. Those Ravagers shooting that Immortal, and, well, that fake mortal, Haluk mortal, whatever you want to call it. Now, so far things aren't looking too good for Apidae on its side of the map. It's buying time with its Zealots, however the Zerg is getting aggressive, and so those Zealots are a poor sandbag to deal with this Protoss. The Sentry, the Stalker running on back, but they're all getting picked off for free, basically. We do have an Oracle on the way. We'll see if it gets utilized correctly. That's got to be a programming nightmare due to the energy on the Oracle, so that Oracle is about to pop on out. We'll see if a Void Ray gets made behind that. That would be very important. The Protoss bot now going to be in a bit of trouble as the Ravagers are on the door. The Zerg has eased off the gas as far as follow-ups to this attack goes. There's only a couple Lings joining the fight, but still a little bit concerning. Stalkers are shooting and kiting away from these Ravagers as well as they can. I mean, they are softening them up. No kills just yet. Corrosive Balls are connecting as well, and that's problematic for the Protoss. That one Oracle is out. Where is it? Looks like it's taken the long way around for some harassment. We'll see how well it's going to do. There is 3 Queens in position. Is it going to be a Stasis Ward? Where's this Oracle going to go? Looks like it will be an attack with the Pulsar Beam. Drones can simply burrow, and the Oracle runs into a Queen. So relatively poor micro and poor usage there. And this is going to put Apidae on the defensive once more, as Lings are now closing the distance on the Stalkers. The Protoss bot is producing whatever it can, utilizing its Warp Gate. Still, though, it makes another Oracle, and if that just goes across the map, it's not going to help defend this. There's no batteries up for the Protoss. Dysnomia is heading on home, though, it looks like, giving the Protoss some time to compose itself, it seems. We do have an Observer on the way that will help with the burrowed Protoss units, but that really, or the burrowed Zerg units, pardon me, but that really only matters if you can kill them in the first place, and I'm not sure Apidae can, as Stalkers are being forced back. There's a big number of Lings now, and looks like some more Protoss units are getting killed off. Apidae's defense leaves a lot to be desired. Resources lost are 6k. Pardon me for covering that up, leaving a unit clicked on. And let's see, we do have Stalkers kiting the Lings once more, but the trades are just very poor for the Protoss. Dysnomia cruising at 40k APM. It is still on a relatively weak economy with no natural base, just 2 bases out. So 2 bases to 2 bases. There's still lots more Lings being made as the Protoss continues to step out against the Zerg. Not a lot of unit pooling here for Apidae. And oh man, what I'd love for it just to make a Void Ray. I think we must have seen another Oracle run into those Queens once more. So poor pathing once again. And yeah, Dysnomia just has so much stuff right now. There's no way that Apidae can hold on if it does commit to the full-on attack. Apidae, though, stepping out. It's like, I can take this fight. I'm not a Protoss. I don't need to play defensive at all. have at the Zerglings, and I mean, it's getting some shots off. Its 1-1 is actually helping out. Pardon me for not pointing that out, that there is 1-1 out for Apidae, so its units are doing a lot better than they would without those upgrades. It's still pretty problematic, though, for the Protoss. Lings are charging on in, but the fight's not going too terribly this time around, as the Ravagers have gone on home. Another Oracle is gonna be doing the big plunge. Queens are in position though, so it's not gonna happen, and so we may need to see some adjustments on the Oracle behavior from Apidae. Like if it utilized a stasis ward, that might go better. Instead it's like 1 drone, 1 queen, let's go. The scrap is still commencing. Lots of units are getting picked off. The 1-1 is so important here for the Protoss though. More and more lings are being made for the Zerg. Dysnomia making yet another Oracle, so the definition of insanity in full swing. The Protoss is starting to mine out, though, in its main. That means the Zerg is as well. That mineral patch on its last leg, so these two are on very similar economies. We are seeing potentially a new base going to be taken by Dysnomia, but it's actually in a bit of a bad loop, it looks like. The resources, pardon me, are 2,500, which is more than enough to build another hatchery, but Dysnomia seems to just be in make units mode, not make hatcheries mode, as this drone is kind of derping out, it looks like, and I'm not sure what the cause of that is. It's still, so it's very problematic. At the same time, Apidae is derping out itself with making more probes, finally gets up a 3rd nexus. That's very important. I was about to say, why is it making probes if it doesn't have a 3rd in sight? We're seeing that now. That's really important. The Protoss bot, though, still got to be careful, as a couple more zealots do get caught by the lings. I'm wondering if Dysnomia will ever break this hold. Realizing its bank, it would have run away with this game, I think, if it wasn't kind of glitched out. We are actually seeing a hallucination take the brunt of the ling attack. More lings are coming on in, though, so these immortals could be in trouble, as Apidae has built a decent army up. The 1-1 will help out with the overall supply. And yeah, Dysnomia is limited by its larva, by its lack of hatcheries, and I'm not sure what's happening here. It's rare to see Eris or an Eris variant bug out like this, but that's what we're seeing right now. Looks like a 3rd nexus is potentially being shut down by Dysnomia. That would be big. The Protoss is stepping onto creep. We're seeing another drone get made. I can only assume that means another Oracle went for the big kamikaze. And now we do see, yeah, just another Oracle moving on out. The definition of insanity, says Apidae. It is transferring workers now, though, to that new Nexus. Could definitely transfer a few more than it has, as it's incredibly oversaturated on this base. It will have a much bigger economy, though, with an extra base compared to Dysnomia. And the Zerg bot is just stuck in this bad loop. I don't know why this is, but it is critical. It's a killer blow right now. And we are seeing lings run by, kill off lots of probes at this 3rd. We'll see if there's going to be another transfer to resaturate that. There is. Still, though, these lings are causing big problems. Another Oracle suicides on in. And until an external factor breaks this loop for Dysnomia, I think it's just going to keep on doing what it's doing, and that is not good. So if, say, Apidae walks forward and kills off this drone, then it may be like, okay, Dysnomia may be like, right, I need to expand, but that's really the only thing that's going to break a bot of this behavior. And so this may be why we're seeing a bit of a longer game between Apidae and Dysnomia. Is Dysnomia, I think, could have won this game if this had not happened. Now we are seeing the Protoss step forward, getting close to that drone. If it kills it off, that could break the shackles that are crippling Dysnomia right now. As, yeah, it looks like that Immortal does get killed. Lots and lots of lings do perish going for that attack, though. More and more lings are being produced. Dysnomia, it's still building its bank a little bit. However, it's very oversaturated right now. Going for some long-distance mining. Sentries are being surrounded. The 1-1 is so important for the Protoss bot, though. Dysnomia is, yeah, doing pretty well for its... Well, not doing too well for itself. Lings are picking off some of these units, but at the same time, It's just, it's fighting with like one, it's got like a pinky, that's all it's got right now. I was gonna say one arm, but one arm seems a bit too generous. The Lings are still doing well for themselves, just as Apidae is not making that many units. It's actually making quite a few workers right now, so potentially caught in a bad loop with that. It hasn't really got too much more production going. The trades are definitely still in favor of Dysnomia as it picks off these high-value sentries again and again. And we are seeing an Oracle try to go in again. That fails, not surprisingly. Dysnomia will start to mine out as this game goes on, though. Only 10 or only 5 mineral patches left at this base. It at least does have the long-distance mining behavior. And we have actually seen that drone. It must have... I'm not sure what moved it. Still, though, no new hatcheries getting up. I'm wondering... Oh, it's trying to expand here instead. And I'm not sure what the issue is. Why this keeps happening. As, yeah, the drone, I guess, is just being issued commands multiple times, so its mining behavior is overriding the drone that's set to build a worker. Which you think there'd be, like, an exemption or something, but... Dysnomia just having a hard time. I'm not sure why this is. Apidae, though, still just fighting the gauntlet. Definition of insanity. A couple of gateway units going in for an attack. The cannon rush was a nice opening, and it did kind of bug its opponent out. But, yeah. Apidae really hasn't been capitalizing on this as well as it could. Some sentries are going to get surrounded, and Lings are pretty good against those, so that's problematic. They're not even fighting. They're just being pathed to death, and so big losses for Apidae once again, which really hasn't hit a significant supply mark at all this game, whereas Dysnomia, despite being on a terrible economy, is still trading out very well. If these oracles started killing Lings, that would be big, but it's just not happening. Looks like this third base is going to be attacked once more. Yeah, Apidae now taking losses, going to have to rebuild those workers, getting some units to defend this. Yeah, it's going to have to replace those probes, though. And it's incredibly oversaturated on its natural, yet it's still making more workers. We'll see if Apidae ever goes for a fourth base. Does clean up that Ling there. The Oracle has actually joined the fight this time around. That's cool to see. Is it just going to fly back and go kill itself? We'll see, though. Third base under attack once more. There is a stalker there. But this is a big economic blow, and Dysnomia is actually going up in supply despite having virtually no economy to speak of. And its harassment is actually killing off the workers at this third base, dealing a big blow to Apidae. Apidae wants to rebuild those workers, so it seems that it just has a worker count per nexus, I'm guessing. The sentries, the micro, like, it just hasn't been good. If it built up an army... Shoulda, coulda, woulda is the moral of this game, I think. Third base being harassed once more. If Apidae just sat there and mined and maxed out, it would be fine. Instead, it's in constant attack mode. Hallucinated Immortals. Not good for that much, actually, it turns out. And Dysnomia is really going up in supply. Like, how many Lings does it have right now? 142. And Apidae is like, I can attack. I can keep attacking. Dysnomia with all these Lings hanging back here. If it pulls the trigger and goes for an attack, which it may do if it ever hits max out, which in theory eventually it will. It's just bottlenecked heavily by the larva. As, yeah, we have a bit of a stalemate of a game right now. Dysnomia still long distance mining, though. It builds an extractor. It's like, I need some gas. I'm allowed to build that building, but a hatchery? No way, man. No way. The third base still mining, but probably going to be harassed again sometime soon. Overlords flying all over the place. They are getting shot down. Ling in the main. What a wild game this is. But there it is. More Lings harassing at the third. Apidae is falling in supply, whereas Dysnomia is going up. And oh boy, here's the main force moving forward. Not sure what to make of this. That Ravager is really popular. Lings come on in once more to attack the third base. This harassment is going well. Apidae just keeps getting pulled all over the place, and even with a critical bug, it looks like Dysnomia is going to run away with this one and take it. And that just goes to show how good Eris and Dysnomia are. Got third base not mining at all, which means Apidae not mining at all. Down to 36 workers, a lot transfer over. And it just, yeah, just keeps losing too much stuff. It's got nothing left, really. 3 sentries out on the map, 2 stalkers. But if these lings move in, it will not be meant to be. And as a result, I think we are going to see Dysnomia close this one out. Well done. Even though it never expanded, it was able to get the win. And I guess that's what matters. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this derpy game and you're still watching, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, click that like button, give it a little tappy. And yeah, that is going to be this one. As Dysnomia almost maxes out on lings. Never to expand, though. Never, ever, ever. Expansions are not allowed. And GG.